Good morning and welcome to Joe Stunner Boxing. I think we can safely say Andy Cruz gave his best career performance, as a professional anyway, against the 30-year-old Japanese fighter Hironori Mishiro, once beaten in 18 fights, got a draw on his record as well. Showed all the usual attributes of a Japanese fighter in terms of toughness. But let's make no mistake about it. This, like I say, was Cruz's best performance as a pro by far. I mean, to me, he was throwing what I would call professional punches. That is to say, all the schooling, that Cuban schooling, that long, incredibly successful amateur career, that was all fantastic. It was all there. But he was throwing combinations and punches with real intent, and this was scheduled for 12 rounds, and make no mistake about it, Cruz started quick. His jab was a ramrod, a real bullet of a jab, and he was throwing, clusters. He was sometimes he was leading with the right hand, sometimes he'd lead with the right, come back with a power jab, sometimes he would be quite content to just soften Mishiro up with a jab, with just the jab, but they were like backhands. And Mishiro, you have to say, excuse me, that Mishiro, I suppose you'd say, contributed to his own downfall, because defensively he was very, very poor. He was very upright, quite a high guard, not much head movement, almost no body movement. He was trying to come in the front door, and at times he was landing his own jabs. And at the end of the first round, he actually had, even though I thought Cruz won every round, including the first, Mishiro quickened his feet as Cruz was looking to skid off along the ropes, and then threw a right hand that landed on Cruz. And I thought, this could be interesting. But Mishiro was going to need to fight at the pace and with the output that Cruz was setting, and he just didn't seem able to do it. I mean, he was... I've not seen much of him before. I might have seen drips and drabs, because I watch a lot of Japanese boxing, but he, in the past, he hasn't struck me as having a particularly high output, and he seemed to be trying to up the ante a little bit in this fight. But Cruz was throwing punches like they were going out of fashion. I mean, it was every punch, including the uppercut. He wasn't forgetting the uppercut. He was banging to the body, but to be honest with you, I thought he'd bang to the body more, because, like I say, Mishiro was very upright, very not stationary. I mean, he was moving his feet. He was trying to come forward, but sometimes he would jab. Like I say, he landed a few jabs and maybe the odd backhand, but nothing to really trouble Cruz. And Cruz was, when he decided to throw punches, they were landing. I mean, the vast majority were landing. He could not miss with that right cross. I mean, they're both conventional fighters, by the way, orthodox fighters. So yeah, he was blending that perfect amalgamation of technique and professional power, sitting down his punches more. Because there were a couple of, even though he's only had 6 fights, but he was, earlier on in his career, there were a couple of 10-rounders where he, I wouldn't say he ran out of ideas, but he was nevertheless a little bit, slipped into a rhythm where it was all just sort of rinse and repeat. Not in this case at all. He was landing some very imaginative, varied punches, and using his feet beautifully as well, in and out of range. He was quite content to let Mishiro come forward, because that meant he couldn't miss him. But yeah, I mean, it was one-way traffic, complete one-way traffic. And they're talking about Cruz now fighting for the IBF belt. This, I think, was an IBF eliminator, and the IBF belt. He's got different options, because I mean, Vasily Lomachenko was retired. He held the IBF belt. You would expect Cruz to fight for the vacant belt. I suppose another option would be Raymond Muratalla, who's got the interim IBF interim belt. I would imagine that they'd match him with Muratalla. Although, I mean, I think Muratalla, actually, I think I'm right in saying Muratalla, as the interim champ, has been elevated to full fat status. So Cruz will be next for Muratalla, because that's right, because the belt, although it was vacated by Lomachenko, Muratalla as the interim fighter would move up. He'd be promoted in a sense. Not exactly the ideal way to win a world title, but you know, the old email. They call them email champs, don't they? But nah. Look, Muratalla is a good fighter, but do I see him beating Cruz? He's undefeated in 23 with 17 KOs. So let's not sleep on him. But against Cruz, the Cruz that I saw, I think this type of performance from Cruz was exemplary. I mean, very, very good indeed. And even though I wouldn't rule Muratalla out, certainly not. I mean, he'd be a fool to do that. I mean, he does have, wins over, Tevin Farmer, he beat him unanimously. He beat Zahar Abdullayev on a 12-round decision. That was for the interim belt, I think. Who else has he fought that I've seen? Diego Nunes, I think, was undefeated at the time. Oh, Jeremy Nakatila, he got rid of him in a couple of rounds. I mean, he's faced good men, Muratalla, but the Cruz I saw yesterday was, he looked a bit special, to be honest with you, and he's probably come into his prime, definitely, even though he's had only 6 professional fights. It's strange to say, isn't it? But he is 29 now, Cruz, and the knock against him was, did he stay? Did he stay amateur too long? I think that was a valid question mark. But no, it looks like he's settled into the pros. So, Muratalla, by the way, was down twice in the 3rd round. Again, from big right hands. There was I think there were 2 right hands that Cruz landed the first, which seemed to freeze Muratalla, and then Mishiro, excuse me. Did I say Muratalla? Mishiro. Cruz seemed to land one that froze him, and then he brought the other right hand over and put Mishiro down. Mishiro got up, and then right at the death of the round, he got put down again by what else? A right hand. And you're thinking, the end is nigh. In the 4th round, he didn't hit the floor, Mishiro. He took some punches, but he didn't hit the floor. And then in the 5th round, he was just getting railed, absolutely railed, knocked, like the proverbial cork in the sea, whichever way the tide took him, he was floating with it. And the referee rightly stepped in. The doctor had visited the corner twice, right, at the end of the 3rd and the end of the 4th. So they were thinking of stopping the fight anyway. But Mishiro, a gutsy guy, real tough. These Japanese fighters can hang tough. They do go out on their shield. But Cruz, the Cruz that beat Mishiro, I would probably favour to beat Muratalla. And he beat Mishiro, who is a capable fighter, he beat him with ease, to be honest with you, with ease. So I don't know. What do you think of Andy Cruz? Where do you think he's going? Do you think he beats Muratalla? Do you think he beats... How many of the leading lights do you think he beats? So let me know. Comments below as usual. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you did enjoy this video, hit the like button as well, because that helps us out a great deal. Yep. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your hopefully sunny Sunday. The sun's out over here, that's for sure. And I'll catch you later. Bye for now.